every photo that you are seeing right now came from an $800 lens that I just can't seem to get rid of. Like, I rarely use this lens, but when I do, I get photos like this. The lens I'm talking about is the 90mm Summarit, which is a lens that Leica made in 2008. And this lens does not get a lot of great reviews. Like, people like Ken Rockwell, they do not like this lens. Now, I don't get the hate. I think this is a fantastic lens. I'm gonna tell you why in today's video. But before I do that, if this is your first time here, my name is Dave. I am a photographer from the Bay Area of California, and I would just love it if you would subscribe to this channel. I mean, of course, if you like what you see. So let's just take a minute and address the bad reviews, the things people don't like about it. It always comes down to the build quality. Nobody complains about the image quality. It has to do with the build quality. And really, it's only the build quality when you're comparing it to other Leica lenses. Like, personally, when I hold this lens, yeah, I mean, there's a few things about it that don't feel as premium as other Leica lenses do, but the Summarit line was not meant to be like a flagship, super expensive line. It was made to be quite affordable, and it's still a Leica lens. Like, it's still a very well-made lens. It feels really good. It's got some weird things about it I'll talk about in a few minutes, but for the most part, when people complain about the build quality, it's not a deal breaker for me. So let's go ahead and talk about why I actually got this lens. This was actually one of my first lenses I ever bought for my Leica kit. I remember trading my Sony 85 G Master in for a store credit at Camera West to buy this lens. We did like a 1-to-1 trade. So like, that's how I acquired this lens. I think I had a 35 and then I added the 90. And the 35 I had back then was the Voigtlander Ultron. So I think this actually was my very first Leica lens. My introduction to the Leica lenses was this one. So I've said it before, 35 is like my everyday lens. It's the focal length that I use on basically everything that I do. But if I was to add another lens, I wanted something like just very different. And while today I can go 28, I can do 50, back then I was 35 and 90 because they're two very different lenses. Like, as a storyteller that shoots primarily documentary style work, or back then when I was doing more like paid jobs, I was doing more portrait sessions or different types of events, like 90 let me reach a little closer to things in a very different way than cropping in on a 35 is going to do. So the 35-90 combo felt like I could get really diverse work on anything I was shooting. And just speaking about reach for a minute, being able to take 90 out and shoot with it, it is substantially closer than 35 is, or even 28, or even 50. Like, I don't know if it's considered telephoto, but 90 on a Leica M especially, that's the upper end of the spectrum. Like, 135 is the only thing you're gonna get on an M that's gonna give you more reach than a 90. 85 is considered a great portrait focal length, and so you can go 75 or 90 on Leica. I went 90 because I like the extra reach. A long lens like this lets you see things just very differently than your natural eye sees things, or how you're going to see them through a 35 or whatever would be a common focal length. I think the biggest thing you can do with that reach is isolate things. Like, when you're shooting on a 90, you really can narrow down the subject or the composition into like two parts, which a lot of my photography when I'm using this lens is meant to have like a positive space and a negative space. It's like two things, whatever it is. I like to shoot for two things. And when you combine that with like two colors, which would be black and white, you know, the spectrum of black and white, or color minimalism, which I've talked about numerous times on this channel. Like, for me, it's like 3 colors in a photo. When you combine color minimalism and the ability to isolate what you're taking a photo of into like just two things, positive and negative space, you get really striking photos. Hopefully now, as I've demonstrated through the photos you are seeing, you can tell just how strong it is to have something with a lot of reach in your lens kit. And as I mentioned before about how 85 is typically considered a great focal length for portraits, this is a great people lens too. Like, this is a fantastic lens for photographing people, for portraits, for any type of work where you're focusing on just like one person. This is a fantastic lens. But it's really, the focal length is fantastic. But again, this is a great lens at this focal length, especially on Leica. Now, you probably clicked this video because the title was about how this is my least used lens. And I just made a solid case for it, but it is my least used lens, and I truly can't sell it because of what it does when I actually do use it. But let's talk about why it's my least used lens. If I was to give you an umbrella statement, it's because it's very specific. Like, yes, it does reach very well. Yes, it is great for people. It's great for creating positive and negative space. That's when I would use it, and I'm not always doing those things. And that is especially true when I just want to go out with one camera and one lens, which, if I'm honest with you, is how I like to go out most of the time these days. So the main reason I don't use this, it's not because of the photos, it's because I just don't see the need to carry around a lens that is kind of like a one-trick pony. You know, the trick is reach. Although it's a good trick, it's an amazing trick. Okay, so if I was reviewing this lens, like if this was a review video, which I really don't do review videos, I like to talk about things, but I'm not like your technical review guy. But if I was reviewing this lens, I would have to tell you 3 things that are not so great about this lens, or maybe the Summarit line in general, but you know, specific to this lens. Let me start with one that might just be my preference. Maybe you love this feature. This lens hood is a creative choice. You'll see that the lens hood is actually attached to the body. It's screwed on in reverse. So you have to unscrew it, flip it, screw it back on. Now this lens is significantly bigger. If you just want to like run and gun with this lens and you don't necessarily like want to switch it into this position, you can't get to the aperture ring while the hood is screwed on the other way. If you want to change it, that hood's got to come off, get screwed back on, and now you have full access. So let's talk about the second thing that I don't love about this lens. I remember the first thing, the lens hood, I said it was a creative choice. You might like it, maybe you do, but I think we can all agree on this one. I'm taking the lens hood off too because it's too big. One of the major problems that people have with this lens is this big rubber focusing barrel here. Like, it's massive. This is a big giant piece of rubber. It doesn't feel that great. And again, that's why people complain about the build quality. I hate when lenses don't have a focus tab. Nobody wants to pinch the barrel and spin it around. You'll notice my Summarit actually has a focus tab. You see it right there? Do you know why it has a focus tab? Because I got one on Amazon and stuck it on the lens. TT Artisans actually makes a little rubber focus tab, and you can put it on any lens that doesn't have one. The Summarit was like a perfect choice to put this on because, as you can see right here, it fits exactly on the barrel. Like, it is a perfect fit. Now, yeah, it's rubber, and rubber doesn't feel the best. I'd rather it not be rubber, but having a rubber focus tab is better than having no focus tab. I wish they would have put it on there by default. They did not, but for just under $10, I was able to put one on here. So problem solved. But I do wish it had one, just, you know, right out of the box. Now, this third thing might just be my copy, but it might also just be like this lens. I don't know. This lens doesn't really focus at infinity. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. When I focus it to infinity, it's actually past infinity. So if I just slam it over to infinity and walk around and try to, you know, take long photos where, you know, it's big and open and the mountain in the background is going to be tack sharp, it's not going to be, because this lens doesn't focus to infinity, it focuses past infinity. So I have to roll it back ever so slightly. You know, I often hear people talk about long lenses on the Leica M, on the rangefinder, you know, how hard it is to focus a 90 or a 135. Maybe it's just me, but I've just never had that problem. That's not like braggy about me. I just don't think it's that hard. I think that might be something that's like said a lot, so everybody repeats it. If you shoot 90 or even the 135, I wonder, like, let me know in the comments, do you have a hard time focusing? Because I don't feel like I do. I mean, even at 2.5, I just dial it in on the rangefinder like I do any other lens, and the photos are nice and sharp. Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious because I don't think it's actually an issue. I just think it's something people say. And now it's been said enough that maybe you believe it. It's not true. This lens is no harder or easier to focus than a 35 or 28 or 50 or anything else. All right, let's talk about the price point for a minute. Now, I mentioned I got this lens for the equivalent of $800. It's about the same today. I did a quick look online at KEH and, you know, just like wherever this lens is sold. Currently, you know, when you're watching it, it might be a different website, but, you know, between 800 and 1,000 looks like to be about where it is. And for a lens that has the word Leica on it, it's not a bad price point. People will say that like the Apo 90 is the best, and it probably is, or even like some of the third-party lenses like the Voigtlander 90 is better, probably is. But at this price point, $800 for a Leica lens, it is actually made in Germany. It says so on the lens itself. Like, I don't have a problem with the Summarit line. I think this is a fantastic lens, and I have no doubt that if I needed to sell this lens, I'd get $800 for it. Like, just not even worried about it. So to me, it feels like a safe lens to buy and add to your kit. You may have noticed notice mine is not yellow and red. Mine is all white. That is because my wife is a tattoo artist and she repainted all of my lenses to match better with the Safari. So all my lenses have been repainted to just white. Thought I needed to point that out in case you're looking for the all white version. It doesn't exist. But the Summarit does exist, and I think it's a lens worth checking out, or even just like the focal length of 90. That's a good focal length to add to your bag for those rare times you might need it. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so make sure to drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about 90, 135, the tele lenses on an M. Also, let me know if you have that issue with the infinity focus. Curious about that too. Got a bunch of links below. Be sure to check them out. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.